ribok tu suseridan maray budul maraklay rubukul belaw bilung ebiraklay mar masil belaw Tiragal suseridan mara President ra Senate marugul senators Speaker ra House marugul delegates Governors lators tukubet sel suseridan mara adra belaw rogui ngara blurang ayangan mora hotcharigi mangara ikra blur belaw rel alsils Tiang tukubet sel se kita ngartiel la bangela tial timra return to Palau. Mungkora di sokal mungo table time egora di mosmo da trir. Ewara kara amla memong amelisa amlengi ma abil ma Dr. Hammond. والدهسو الممرور تجد الدوكيومنتري عملوا كتبه سيا بضع مسرين على الغب سنين من قرأ دي سوغل لنغا تايمة باي مسا Dr. Hamill, if you can introduce the team that's here with us today and give everybody a little bit of a background of everyone, and then after that we'll give the floor to Melissa. We'll do that in English, but I've kind of explained in Palawan.
Okay.
Yes, and you need a microphone. So, sorry. Yeah. Sabir.
Thank you. Is it on? It's on? Okay. I will begin by introducing Pastor Williams Costa. He's the communications director at our World Church headquarters in Washington, D.C. And he's here with his cameraman, Gerhard Weiner, coming from Vienna, Austria. Next is Dr. Ivan Williams and his wife, Kathleen. Dr. Williams is the ministerial director of the North American Division of Seventh-day Adventist, and he is here to represent the churches in North America. Followed by the president of the Guam Micronesia Mission, Pastor Matthew Kurt, and his team from Guam. There's Pastor Jano and his wife Leah. There is Grace Lloyd. Where's Grace? She's representing her husband, Don Lloyd, who is the treasurer of the Guam Micronesia Mission. Next, I have Dr. Steve Sweatman and his wife Sherry. Dr. Sweatman is the president of Mission Training International. He's been involved in training over 25,000 missionaries around the world over the past 20 years. And it's a pleasure to have him and his wife as a part of our team here at this time. And then I have Pastor Dwight Nelson and his wife Karen. Pastor Dwight has been involved with the story since Melissa returned to the United States in 2003, 2004 at the beginning of the year, and he is our speaker for the meetings that we will have this week. And then I have my lovely, talented daughter-in-law, Michelle, who has filmed, edited, and directed the film Return to Palau. She's very gifted and has contributed enormous time and effort to producing the story that shares what happened here on the island of Palau almost 20 years ago, and the beauty of how the people of Palau responded in the face of an unthinkable tragedy. And our grandson, Owen. Our son, Matthew, has been very much involved. He was here filming in 2019. But he couldn't come, so Owen has taken his place and will step in for his dad. And then, my husband, Lauren, Dr. Lauren Hamill, he has been so involved with this. He knew the DePivas before I knew them. He's a physician for the family and in caring for the family and when they returned, and as an executive producer of this film. Yes, and have I missed? Richard Park has been an invaluable member of the team. He is the media director of the Pioneer Memorial Church. He is responsible for the logistics of the production tonight. So we're very, very grateful to have Richard Park here. And I think I've got everyone. Oh, and then, most importantly, Pastor Michael Gibson and Melissa Gibson. It's such an honor to have them here, returning to Palau and to be with the people they love so much. So I'll turn it over to Michael and Melissa.
Well,
I didn't let you translate. I'm so sorry.
yeah, it's okay. Dia kam tirigal adal mle di sokal moduli lo ase ngal Dr. Hamal hanggang seral alborin tel garo rablur belau engi amler belau ngua melisal moram rigel ul bangel ra aguru lel el merel am mung gadam renga sulir sel beltig renga tir mesel tiram net maga obangel ngal ngalget khoseng ngalget leng ngasera aldu betial garior kada dilo aseng dimrokol ngalget mung gadamal mga madara rogul af lo ase whatsapp amiu emerel al kabsingay akpadaya seng ngari sel nato del gora a promotion lo aseng ngaria kabsingay makluguk mangyaw so Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Di so ada mo botekli lo ase sel film adi kabsingay ding aigel luriu club say and more interview ra adang sel film more in depth mang kabadi mo muy gayid man mrenga suliren we first of all it's really truly a very special for the people of Palau that you have come back and that we can share this story with the people of Palau and the world to really show the love of Jesus to everyone. So, Melissa, I'll give you an opportunity to say a few words, and Michael. But we're just so glad that you could come back. And the film, we may not get to talk about it too much, but I do know that getting all the material put together to share the story was a miracle in itself. And Michelle, I know took a lot of hours researching. I mean, I still remember looking and trying to go to the Ministry of Education and look for the videotapes of the funeral service and not being able to find it. Then looking on the pictures that we have and then identifying people that were taking videos at that event. And then being able to find out that one of them was Mrs. Higgins, whose husband was a pastor here. And being able for Michelle to go to their home in Michigan and find that film. So it's really an incredible story, and it just goes to show the incredible miracle that has come out of this. And thank you, Melissa, for sharing your story and your life and caring so much for us. So, please.
Thank you, Mr. President, for having us. I always like to say that I feel at home in Palau, and I'm very grateful to be back here. And thinking back almost 20 years ago, if this had happened anywhere else, I don't think I would have been where I am today. Loved and cared for, supported, and it's all because of the people in Palau and the people that surround us right now. So I would like to invite you all here tonight to the premiere of the film. We figured if this film is going to be shared globally, we want it to be shared in Palau first. So this is the specialness of it right now, is to share it in Palau first. Tonight at 6 o'clock at the National Gym, which was the same place where the funeral took place. So it would be very special, very meaningful. We'd be honored to have all of you there as well tonight for the premiere, and the following nights as well for Pastor Dwight Nelson's revival messages, yes, that we'll be having Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday morning, and Saturday night. So I thank you for this time, and I thank you for the opportunity of being able to formally invite you and to be here in Palau again. Thank you for your hospitality.
And, oh, do you want to say something, Michael?
I was just going to say, to add on, thank you so much for the hospitality and the care that the nation of Palau and its leadership has had for our family. This is a story that I came to know as Melissa and I came to know one another, and we got married, and now I'm a part of that story. But it's not just a story that we keep between one another, but we share it with the nation of Palau. And the healing and the miracle of what God is able to do, that's what we've come to share. And it's all of our stories and a witness of what Jesus is able to do in creating beauty from ashes.
Amen. So today, I would like to take the opportunity on behalf of the people of Palau and sign the Presidential Proclamation number 22318. And this is a proclamation welcoming back Melissa and honoring the Depaiva family as a family of Palau. Whereas Melissa Depaiva Gibson's family demonstrated deep commitment to the Republic of Palau and its people through serving as a pastor of the Core Seventh-day Adventist Church and a missionary family. And whereas Melissa Depaiva Gibson suffered from the tragic deaths of her father Ruimar, her mother Margaret, and her brother Larison on December 22nd, 2003, while living here near the campus of Palau Mission Academy in the Republic of Palau. And whereas that same day, at 10 years of age, Melissa Depaiva Gibson managed to survive an attempt on her life. And whereas with the support of her loving and extended family and friends, and through her unwavering faith, has healed from this unspeakable trauma she suffered. And whereas similar to her grandmother, Ruth Depaiva before her, Melissa Depaiva Gibson has generously forgiven what most people would consider utterly unforgivable and returned to Palau. And whereas Melissa Depaiva Gibson, through her life, her love, and her forgiveness has touched the hearts of the people of Palau. And whereas Melissa Depaiva Gibson is a living example of forgiveness, perseverance to overcome tragedy. Now, therefore, I, Surangel Whips Jr., as President of the Republic of Palau, by the virtue and authority vested in me under the Constitution and the laws of the Republic, do hereby proclaim the Depaiva family of the Republic of Palau as a nation. We warmly welcome back Melissa Depaiva Gibson. So proclaimed this 16th day of March 2022. So I'm going to sign this today.
Thank you
you.
very much, Mr. President.
Thank you. Thank you. And we'll see you tonight.
Tonight.
Sige lang. Parang daw eh. Tira mo daw. Friendly. Oh. Oy. Mang
Sila sa sama kita pagsingi ko nga. Ay siya hawon. Oo, yes. Ako kayo man.
tia world premiere kada otir bela era bolto badra blula so kada so malwaise otru da mle halider eli tugubet sils silsera arma ngayas kara blur bela mang kada maral di ngutiar tal el mutel oyen artir mal الأوريول مرين الروليا بيلا الموم سيسي البلو التيرا كيري السمريار يمدين رسالة سيل دي قتل جلل they can achieve their dreams من عمر لو سي on behalf of cabinet ما بلور بلا قد congratulate ناس كرا بلور بلا إليم لا يتقلد مومسرا couple programs أوانا ملانيا أوكا they got together at Palasia. Look, some of the issues that we face in relation to the challenges that we have. Each ministry, you know, Vice President Akram, that's said, Mac Congress. It was a important to engage and feel was a the part solution. Baby, that time to go and create all the we need to engage them. They need to be part and contribute to solving the challenges that we have and really helping us in the progress as a nation. Congratulate support whether provide school more and everything that they can do so they can succeed and be successful citizens and prosperous citizens at Abalur Belam. So with that, akbaya sa kmle dibu sa kambesel 2 weeks kami amal somila sa private trip mang malungil. Mahal aktibo mo sa private trip bol lagatak rarbek lab. Silda sa private trip mo kasi dim la kadodor am sang Abalur Belam mo itirgiren mal dim le ududa ka tilo bodal mo mamulugode actually selling close to telel kita ngaria ngeso kada mal ngat tanga tablur bela and for the so many years kada member kada participate in upward bound programs they got participate in talent search program ngaria student services direct ngaria amna participate in magner blur amrigel ngalgel bela they call them the trio programs. And every year they have conferences. In 9 region, I said Western region. Western region include Hawaii, California, Nevada, Arizona, Oregon, Washington. I got Pacific Islands. Get the Western region. So they have conferences. Late last year, Ingaringel me directora trio programs ra Guam. Only Mr. Yoich Rengil. Reach out to me. Lonitra se galel would you be interested in mo keynote speaker tial event? Maybe tokola da dekalo dinge dia Mr. Clam dinge aseng gamle other upward bound mga maktiri gamle student upward bound back in 1984, 83. Even my first lady, mandiri kalmle student upward bound. Igal upward bound programs are important and help you to be successful in college. That's the ultimate goal. So to speak to them was an honor. And I had to pay my own ticket there. And the gumral was saying benefit the region and magidal. I got programs so that all mol merbelo. And education programs allowed. So, the conference had about 600 participants. Emnara Konara Blura Hawaii. But really, tiga order I got programs. Plus, our cell group Washington DC lobby legal program. So they were also there fundraising to help legal lobbying efforts. Nari time Republicans Ablur Amrigel, say, Mrogo get through the program, I got helpful. But it's important to have friends that support the programs. And I was sharing with them, I say, education programs, Dolai through the federal programs are so important that they can at any point in Dolai. So it's important to have allies and friends that support us. And we, if anything, we need to expand them. So especially now, those are the Minister Udoy. So it was really an honor. They did give me an award, so I got an award, and the award was Achievers Award, a West Up Achievers Award. As a former member, Upward Bound, and the progress that we made. So it was, I think, an important opportunity to us for share about Palau and share about the impact that I got programs and Merangal Pacific and how important they are so they can continue. Of course, kita adang umbrella ndeka tele del stable modo dur girel belau. So I did tele del ukmesa gel partner gidra a digital residency Brill, material other cryptic labs. And as you know, the minister has already announced, I said we've gotten our first 70,000. But said there's other things that we need to expand on to get more digital residents. And I know minister is working with OEG. Let's bring on some technical expertise to help us finish important legislation to continue to build on the program. Already there's an interest because now we have 700 people that have already registered, and we know that there's a potential there. We just have to get the other programs in place like digital exchange and the other opportunities that are out there will help expand the program and interest that Secretary Holland, of course, by Zoom, they trial mutin invite Rina se Berbelao and just update her Berbelao, and the good news gel wal deputy ringi Berbelao next week melding rigid ado dur gire like programs ma support the Department of Interior labangget. In Hawaii, one of the things that I had the opportunity to do sa do nimle tuto kasi kalamra kawai langaria somal share mo loreng segara news la tuto. One of the things that we've seen during this COVID pandemic is that we lose tourism. And we always have to think of ways to diversify our economy. Since I was going to Kona, I say, can you just stop by Kauai and visit us and see what opportunities Lorura, Blura Kauai. Kauai are interesting. They have not built a new hotel there in 30 years. What they've done is really opened up to residences. So arada ba yung Arab liri ra Kauai. Isel da yung residences trigan maral adra amrigel lom ara abliri ra Hawaii. Edi adra amrigel drigal wana imortira prince ra Saudi Arabia. Tom Arab liri ra say el gora investment but more of a vacation place that they go, and they may go there a month out of the year. But the rest of the time tial blaya require total other stuff ringi take care ringi and maintain it. Mga kawaya to say kawaya during tial pandemic el dekar tourist di tigala di mulmul mga ureri leng di mla kalay off le tigala sorry take care igal clockrim dal batamal. So in fact there was a point and there was so many private jets ra Hawaii namle par gar seleng daily siram rigel sorry mora Hawaii matangaring tiga say as one option is all you need is maybe 100 triagidel hopefully billionaires and merbela Arab liri ego maintain 100 each of them needs 10 people to work. That's 1,000 jobs, high paying jobs, stable jobs. It gives them an opportunity to diversify our economy. So it was interesting. Maski the different perspective potential below. We also had the opportunity to meet Toktang, who will be coming to Palau in April, Minister. Hanggang orthopedic surgeon. Ngari ati meringi that he would like to actually rotate and merbelo ukti help rigidra aigal surgeries rigid, and more importantly training. Gamal soal bolsabel el trainer trigal Toktang arbelaw, so that we can do a lot of the care ourselves. Even willing to take them back to Kauai and continue training. Ding interesting in Gakira Kauai because he loves to surf and he loves to fish. Our other NFL, he has NFL clients that fly to Hawaii to get operated on in Kauai by him because he's that good. So it's a medical tourism. Tabay mo nga raw guru like Drew Brees lives there. I mean ngara blir say that's the kind of people that are there. Of course, Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook, he's probably one of the more famous ones that's there. But those type of people also need good medical facilities. So just say, look, I got a Kauai, the medical center, Zuckerberg gave $5 million to expand the wing. Those are the kinds of opportunities when those people are in the community, they reinvest, and they want good medical service. They want to make sure that they're taken care of. So I just thought that's an interesting opportunity, and he's coming in April. Work with the Ministry of Health. I think we should always look for those opportunities. And any time over the years, they've been coming here and they're in the real estate business. So look, introduce it together sa iliring arsel, merablur belaw. And so hopefully we can get some of them to come. So we've invited some of them. So far Toktang ame, but hopefully that will bring others in the future. The other thing that we were able to do, diri kaluknoni atela del Sera ng Honolulu, el mesa sa lidra Senator Wakay. Kamaya senggeblo senda igale medical supplies, madiri kal tukara help kita tukara school, emrenga sulel. Ra ukti deka dinga sul sender merbelo ma ngesel mora community gidra rather belang ar Hawaii. Diri kal mesa del meeting gel Lieutenant Governor Josh Green, currently running for governor, but medical doctor diri kamal namo marali sel more Hawaii ukti managing a pandemic. And he actually during the pandemic masera the water shot sender a patient and more a tripler, and he was kadam lego lani aska help to open up per se gideling dimla ka kurang na sir bela na kita dimla sele special lab certification or gid wala kal ano regal tester gid. So kada me askaring kada me tela duk pestrir mrenga sulir regal uk again sulir gid and continue to work with them, especially almosera adatan alngara ablura Hawaii. We also had the opportunity to meet Mayor of Big Islander Hawaii, Mitch Roth. Both, of course, the Lieutenant Governor and the Mayor of Big Island Amal appreciate the other belang regel below. They contribute to the local economy and to the people. To the Malago Tamir, the tried invited to us, together oceans. Mayor Mitch Roth Amal other sustainable development. Hawaii is one of the states. They're already at 39% renewable, and their goal is to go all renewable by 2045. But actually before that, there's a lot that we can learn from them, and hopefully at our oceans they can share those things with us. Dimlegay kita maomaygel albangan kita continue mring lorol girela our oceans conference. It's only a month away. Kada mal madangel wasing moklo traffic rablo ask our patients are other narigal rensure gide and I know lo say vice moga amring other mubra traffic and we want to be prepared and we want to do this right. Tell Oceans Conference is really our opportunity to share progress with the world and how we're doing our part and really help move the world forward that the initiatives that and take responsibility, be accountable to also do their part today. And we're going to get somewhere. We all need to do this together. And that's really what Oceans is all about. It's about bringing everyone to Palau and sharing our successes, our challenges, and how we can really build a better future that really is centers around our ocean, our people, and our prosperity. Then kita lakadakat makliya adabeth ng siyan mo ulbulat. I say, ngira dagot maklin maungil arat, moklung yoler. We look forward to welcoming everyone to Palau. Yang nga bay deksan mo, kamang lalada kalak mo yasing buto ka nga news, buto ka question ako mo, magpay open na ulal. Bay mas kami atean mo kumoger, ager, manger. Of course, ako maruka ang artiad ready. Henji ang idilger, campus. Sulang.
Sa uli, Mr. Presidente, alilibak potek para COVID makun sa Minister Rahel.
I say.
Tutay, Minister. Minister kato mga report ma dire kalo sa statistics ra Ministry of Health tial number we're in single digits right now sildo sa a number of active cases mang kadam namon meriyo mang ang sildo ring na mo ishay gid nga ko ra sa Ministry of Health in terms of easing up on some of these restrictions ang natel sa ko ra share mergit
lang kambes ra malungil gen may say sa lomes sa ure maral kanang maral telal Sunday man di maral moriwa number of cases cell directive 24-22 expire March 20 expire al Sunday sa edal expect lo sa Monday 21st tengya October da el directive nga niya kay dan sel blad adjust luguk mo atter a situation lang ari we're probably not gonna do away with masking entirely and adimonia gel kukura certain situation di require a face mask hindi mo niya changes el morsegi di makpayolingit la sa dongin mo Monday el bols el toba de segi del BSL guidance EOC oriol girel al time direct along with that with the declining cases mga hospitalizations segi na mo start to scale down na COVID-19 activities masel testing site nga ospital ma care center awal lol kadulmu le reduce di mo half day lal lumurel al silseng mo close sel Wednesday mangariya mo ko makael press release ma announcement to der al silsel guk mo masada details sa gidel scaling down di basically agad rogul activity di mo kanya vaccination ma testing sa gidel care center about the start the scale down lultuira igagidil domestic trend el decreasing na numbers akpayol ngita sa the ili sa gidil announcement el motob del alsil sel gukire la operations emorgo sa gidil PSL directiva tobra mande gukmol oltagel preventive measures el recommend el gukpay sa situation sula.
So just in line with that adome sa baby rabulura arrival protocols and walblal relax abela ang gukwa kara osingel gidel si Ministry of Health.
Ay say so kada mo lo mesa igel existing and preventive measures sa community emorgo era April 1st tagida ko mesa igel to era entry requirements sa testing marwa restriction ng movement sa mo next step.
Sulang kung mas strict ka man nga COVID related.
And I think it's an important point on this. After, of course, after yung lang ng Regel, Hawaii, Kona, the hotels were full, completely full. Maral masakada balu, masakada flight. So we hope that should be the case. Unfortunately, most of our tourists are Asian men. So akminadura ambassador Shabara Idris Bengasim now ela sum vaccinated and so is Shabara and they require a quarantine. So those things will start changing. Boosted, you have to be boosted. So when that changes, hopefully our tourists are Shaba and Marwa Korea the tiga what how am saying that the other American mo by the other teditilo tourist and the other Shabala the album. So that's what we're hoping. I said this relaxing of the restrictions will help us begin the recovery. And hopefully we can put this COVID behind us and start looking ahead, because COVID has been painful for everybody, especially our Ministry of Health, the frontliners, you know, we cannot say enough of what they've been doing for the past year. And finally, you know, it's good to hear a minister that we're doing something other than COVID. I say, and I think that's an important message. We can now focus our efforts on all the other important things that the Ministry of Health needs to focus on. That's not COVID. So, sulang minister.
Sulang presidente, since nga question sa mo minister health directly follow up. So minister elal al koram relax maral mo koram relax pekal to lang lamo o maral mo diaktal covid na bela mo na madakdo mesa kora severe effect ngi kuk tirgel sel to kora referral alastal class ang malde klaba mara waiting list wangara sel mo Taiwan mailan pull open na Philippines kan area mo te ala other mo in market guru
Isa sulang laira malungil ke. Of course ang ngari waiting list hindi akal sa clow luwa before hindi ka ngari other ngara waiting list mo ti ko maklat kalwa sa sel ku korotel a referral program wal blabol mo yun mo ra HCF hindi sel medical referral committee el niya prioritize sa tulata ang agirin mo ra gurura of island na ka ngara Ministry of Health magi Uriyo lang gala HCF lo mesa gigi del kakarusel teal. Unfortunately for now at Taiwan nga diri ka close hindi ka skogi. Hopefully next month or endra month kita mo niya talibel clear book o singa del gida la teal al moro guru at Taiwan. Hindi with Philippines opening up nga ida president del na mention na kawai. Nga gigi del teal la diri nga ngi malasam maximize sa gidi opportunity sendra referred patients in mara Philippines sa Hawaii. At the same time, indirect kalsuad lo mesa igel teal improve tokora telehealth, telemedicine, madirect kal wagel dilo presidente do sikollar specialist el may rotate, they provide agigid service niya o pong ngaringi rabelaweng o gagare sa igid referral more of island magigid direct kal lamsadra teal referral o sisil time o do sikollar improve a capability, capacity ro hospital gidel sa edel provide gidel service.
Natara example canvas pack trigel operate tegale kulori ara amle gidel mera February, but they had to cancel because of COVID. So hopefully later in the year they can come back. And they have the list of about 50 people that they needed to give close to the opportunity that now that we're getting through COVID, they can come back.
President, ati kwa mentioner sa kwa Maria follow up ring el medical houses kita other belaw nga Hawaii mga Philippines mga Taiwan koloreng sa aldadura before say since now HCF am lamo nga referral Again, mo malmol mal under hospital, are they going to be also managed under the healthcare fund?
Well, I think I intend to mara clock belaw. A healthcare fund the bititrim tospe, sum tospe ngar alil maintain pedengi emru lagi rugul ngar al mendeka todo el budget era ministerial. Ndi clock belaw, ditira maintain and take care. That's the
Hindi ka official at kailangan ang HCF.
Hindi, already nga under HF ka po, Minister.
May so nga nga ra process el merura ko ra MOU. Ra dolong lela Ministry ra hel ma MOF ma direct el HCF el transfer gigi dro ko el assets el mura HCF am tiro route including ra mlay ma staff.
Lumituta, Mr. Presidente, Mr. Ministers. Gagada Minister, where belal ko am lamu lomesa, hige restrictions ma regulation el gerel tiale. Prevention COVID-19 sel belal. Yung le mention at lasing mal ne suffer adlo ura tel hospital gil Michael Bebe ira government. And then there is mal to show where belam suffer gerel tiage the COVID. Tangare adlo ger kun sabe men mokor omesa regulations el gerela travel visa te gela adlo ura en meso is per belam. E bol swiulo mesem way malubem rule agora amnesty bol sabihin ko sute other belawal el mo nganya telin hera other nga kribelon meso hisu malubem ko kanya sio bar belon gegrel el mga simeres bedira other hook maar el bol nganya agora consideration na games better other transfer morti.
Kabo, Minister, ito kami respond.
La Presidente Manuel total mora media mar adro ui. Real el all time ongoing el necessary lula immigration man labor. As a matter of fact el all week agi malasam el finalize ringi mora imala Presidente mo mesringi. El mo address lagi drogul issues material na retire ma. Agal ko rapotokol issue domes. Agi malasam el streamline the process ra ongi ra adra ngodal bulul may. At the same time, kalau masuk untuk address agil betul, lukora merober gitu mengagil melukora ada siapa meringat dia. Hindi kami dek mutil tukora transfer ako tamli heavily debated issue. Aktiun mo rin kami dengat mo whatever we propose alam mo ngaklol debate mo tayo ngisi orang ngiral will be. Hindi at the moment dengan agil ko tukora immigration we're also trying to figure out mo magara within the confines of the law it's ito ko masutri tigil adam nabtarak.
I guess important Mr. Talam said, but I understand the cell ring and Michael. There was some red tape. Sometimes other immigration malabor malmaletrarab. Godo mo oriol was some grada table relax. The help I got show by makmal agrilo bangyam igara giradro messering sulang.
Sila, Mr. Presidente, Minister Matule. Tiago ada related mo raga Mr. Presidente di gamle di busar bela. Emurgo ya kabel nor ablur ngaur o waisak mung milnga do tirgel military ner bela. To waisanit mugel missile sengara rota. Age mor ablur ngaur. Elangania project ra radar morngira ablur ngarar mangaur. Pabibira pasir bela. Again gani ako agreement radong lela military malubeng government ram rigel ma government bela. Lo ay sa ko timetable ra hikay gidalurior. Malubeng kukti waltirak ra kan paktet di mesois murula gel orule. E dia ko agreement execute lo bangela government bela.
Agreement execute. Okay, andra kan pakte tingari alam altilme. Zoom to mospe autum of course igel utum el identify ge ngari private land owners mangari aldodulo ban tritigel private land owners el grela uspela igel utum. Umra segedrik ongoing ama yesebon mera igel aldodu and require a work permit mangara ya moria kodum godora igel radar site and dik mera lo ase process ongoing. In fact, 2 years ago, I think Admiral Davidson or Admiral Royal Bengal vessel, Admiral Indo-Pacom, announced there was they had $200 million they requested tin mara pente Congress rambrigel gire la gel radar site. So we know lo say temle request I think amlo ramle amle budget will gire la odru la klalo. So they're coming. It's just I think say a timeline. Tergampak tergida, yes, it gives them the right MSOEs, but of course Rospea airport tergid. I can identify Tergampak tangayaw, mairay, maport tergamlaan. So they're exercising those rights, and of course they want to do more. As far as a timeline, mal lakatakal timeline. Excel, bon mereka gigil permitting marang niya ukmo. But we would expect in the next few years. I get exercises. Of course, they're doing more exercises in the region. Whether Tolsabas Kogilmen, Dell may visit. I think last year, Tokora Lamro, Matidra Olgeda, I get Olgeda Ratin, and I get Tumsel LCU Ligang, and Morgo Ogeda Rabalu, a test, anti missile launcher, engaging Maria Soval Mings, the repelling, I Portragir and Brule, some Maria radar sighting, I get in Mangaring, I would think. So they need to be able to be capable of doing that. With what's happening in Ukraine, I guess we would expect Russia there's going to be more activity. I see.
Sula, Mr. President, hindi sola ka ba no rablur ngaw o man supporter ngi lo ba military mo rablur ngaw.
Oh. Oh, ba military mo rablur ngaw re. Hindi ang malungil. I mean, at the end of the day, hindi rin tara ula ka rule. Ang provide magit mo rablu, ang employer araat. So, part of the diversification, ang gada encourage tilo say, you know, ang teal elme. In fact, last visit ang Admiral Acalinor Sir Albert Belao, he told us or say timomre mo testify at US Congress. Nora US Congress, mga testimony tulgering ira question ligira la airport ngayon ma ablilio. Of course, airport rairay ma port. Tulgering ilo say ngare plan na mariger el mo improve ay. And I think the response niya man blogata was yes. Kada mese, kada spam. Sel idea joint use so na ungil sel suma kabnor ngayon welcome tira say okay, mo the cemetery runway. Nakadil ay possible future opportunities in Mergido mo. Ang gatatal do sa adra mga cemetery ngayon mga cemetery ablilio. But I think it's kind of more realistic within the next 10 years that it may happen. And seguida niya mo sa bala private jet likmer da ngayon. Wala time ang team bringer nginding. Maybe sa elok ngare baby ablilio tigegi da ngara kawa el mor ngayon ma mor ablilio. Itige ay bili ra sore ngare aser seri mga yung ay so
Gedere matsala kasino Mr. President mangol ngitum bon support. Tigeda Mr. President kona temela budget ko la ipro.
I say.
Budget performance 60 million el available biskida ADB loan segundo la sparing rogir malo be como tapra tel gibringin te.
Kare pasa tela Minister of Finance mal so dia a budget trigida ma true leather.
Thank you, Sado. I guess the first thing I'll say is yes, we've already issued the request for submission of performance reports. Following the performance reports, we'll issue a budget call. Right now, we are working on looking at the existing budget, this year's budget, and trying to make sure that we have sufficient funds to finish the year. We're looking at additional sources of funding to make sure that this year is fully covered by what we've already budgeted and what we may budget through a possible supplemental. And then we're also looking at funding for next year. A lot of this, as it always has, depends on the recovery of the tourism sector. And that if the trend continues that the pandemic has subsided, Asia lifts its restrictions, we can expect to see tourists resume from Asia. The other question would then be whether or not they come back at the levels that they were at prior, and whether we're ready to receive them. So at this point, we are still providing assistance to employees through the Cross-Act program. I understand that the legislature is considering additional funding to extend it further. As of today, we have about 2 million left in the account. We do also have another 500,000 that's with the Development Bank that nobody has applied for. I can talk to the president and see if there's any chance to change the program to assist small businesses to reopen, or maybe to deal with their labor issues, as you had mentioned earlier. I'll have that discussion with the bank president. But we're also concerned with the WIOA beneficiaries who are no longer being assisted. So that's something that I also have to look at and find some funding for.
Minister Utoy, thank you. You mentioned the cell loan and cell kukne patrakos aktal mora MDBP. Lakal with the walkoraman le restrictive language cell loan. Disability spending business and renovate that kind of thing. Ngari rat yung laptop business ada kan apply rin malari ada kan message affected. So ngari role le kum dina kalau mesani small business el baseng makaras el help plus peso mental seludo available.
Yeah, I think we can consider expansion of the program, which is what I'm saying. But the purpose of the funds, what you say is the narrow, restricted use of the funding, was to prepare businesses for opening under the safety certification requirements of the Bureau of Tourism. And it turns out most businesses didn't require that funding. So it's a small amount of money, 500,000. So there's only so much we can open it up for. And these are for the people who are already qualified for the program. So we'll have additional discussions, and we'll see if she has heard any requests for a different use, and we can expand the purpose and provide that assistance to businesses.
Minister Udoy, do meseng ngaring ya angas aktal aralaklalo. Inflation is going up, as evidenced by the fuel pump prices. Malam of 92 cents, and it is expected to go up over $6 shortly. Matson navigation also announced a price increase among how is that gonna tokar adal lamo complain nang sa akal aralakal labaklalo. So ngaring ako how is the government dealing with that? And also kada monitor the price of the consumer prices.
I think it's safe to say what people are feeling is what is happening. Although when you say inflation, it may not be totally accurate. The reason why prices have increased are related to fuel, which is also related to the Ukrainian crisis, which has affected fuel prices, price of barrels of oil. And the other one is some logistical problems that are still affecting us related to COVID. So the prices have increased generally because of those two main reasons as far as I can see. And we are just trying to deal with it as best we can. So we have to look at ways to make a dollar go further, a gallon of gas go further, and that's what I think everyone in the world is facing and what we're trying to do. But I think it may be a temporary situation for now, and we need to get over this hurdle. If you ask what we are specifically trying to do, the discussion now within Congress is providing additional assistance through the Lifeline subsidy and expanding the eligibility for that program. So we are trying to directly support those people who need the help most. And I think that's government's role. We are also, in April, we should be launching the residential solar program through the National Development Bank. So that will also be something I think that will help people over the long run. So far, we've been told that there's about 200 people who have expressed interest, 200 residential households. So please, if you do need assistance, I recommend you do put in your interest, express your interest to the Development Bank. We still have another 600 systems. And I do have additional money that I can also put into the program and expand the number of households who are assisted. And those are very effective ways of addressing household energy consumption. And I think that would help a lot of people address this crisis.
So two things. One is if you look at the Palau National Government website, we track CPI. CPI is our Consumer Price Index. That is inflation. So that's an easy one for you to go to. Nga sa klela arala adrang oklo. Dira kan larming sa Ramrigal was inflation rate Ramrigal arala 8%. So inflation is here. One of the things dira kan Hawaii makmuna dura adra matsen. Because I was asking them, I said, is there a chance or I say gal rates Amerio? Gida waisia rates gida actually ngariora costara freight and Ramrigal from Asia. Currently, one container al todra Asia al Ramrigal al time $25,000 for a 40-foot container. Right now, I give them about 10 to 12,000. So that's the difference. We're kind of secure. Yes, fuel surcharge is going up. It's going to increase, but it won't be as high as what they're suffering at Asina. But most a lot of it starts in China. So that's also causing the increase, which will continue, and it's probably never going to go back. That's once a balance and more saying that el mutin medio. The will get was a gal lang ngari tele le freight the centro la sina mamrino say degalang short adial. The mendra grew too much. So at one point, the LA port had 120 ships parked outside. They'll say unload the cargo because that's how much backlog. Today there's still 50. It's a logistical problem, and they don't see any changing for the next 2 to 3 years. That's the so. We've talked about it and continue to talk about it. What can we do? So we must seriously look at the minimum wage. It's time. Lieutenant Governor said 77% of Hawaii minimum wage needs to be $15 an hour. And held was 350 is okay. But 350 maybe namagadra say alu agirel minimum wage. Take it to the price of fuel. I mean, those are things that we need to talk about because that's the reality. We need to understand. Segida agirel remote morim. Godolitra rather olbilo say ngariala ngara Senate. House. Either one I'll sign it. And then let's find the money. But just get it done. The other they need help. So the only way monongas gargaringir bolsel atter igal tolega gida de control blue la control Maloral mer tourist they blanca saududad we charge the tourist more at the help pergidra why should we pay ourselves less suffer. It's time. So let's ask the sa lider nga olbira kalulura say I know it's tough to make decisions to kar adra shobal complain ang mal down na rogo im dekal sa elma sa aududera but at 350 na mo dekal makar it should be $5 already and so malmaringan let's do 75 cents this year and 75 cents next year but let's get it done.
Mr. President, Isabella Minister of Finance luay sa puntelaw dudir other will be raglular at tarak magmin ministers a president.
So take it around 50,000 sa doy. Dirigal increase. Oy, abay minimum wage amle 250, elam mo 350, kada bal mo $5, din dikal increase sa udir ang babala aba. Gitelo lagi dring. Kada bay encourage tira sa halar ang sa ududi em nutlo lagi dira rester adan mebang gamyo. Oy. Di moy say. Di at the same time gida dirigal mo say sel mo si sel ngariyo. En girel impact trigger ng raba rogul of the train morbab. Nama our director mar minister meda kay sisyo ani am lang lakra our minister kasi minister. So dire kal gira del mo mesay I mean a review because we want qualified people, we want the right people and it costs money. So abay de kal gira kaniya kasi mela ka dong Surangel merio bolsa del dingario. Paidol du bertial morom modangas rogul. Oy, Adam.
Presidente, ang datot sige na tamdo ay gel di ako lagi sa direktor ni lang di ari gabor tigel ako sel malo masara ada sobay sel employment program tir and to my understanding and direct dinakal bol statistic ko na gali ako bil dinakal statistic ari ako ra tamnan ko siyang stat sir o ginang bol sa amal ma-help to kama alat MC lahara for students yung help pa nga el ko ra ang nagite na tirmo.
Kami member board the makam koro ay sirgi dra saying minister sa training program on the job training program ay senda.
Understanding nga ke Presidente Alsil sa kada submit sel plan el mora gidele US government ya endra June ang end tel puwa may girogul ko COVID programs ya ru regional mo kadam sa talagi dam mo ni. Unfortunately to short staffed mong legil la tawo me briefer gid regel ko kurere de lang leng buto ka dila sa dol girela kung ara man diakal bingi taludo ding literal mal masawad ngira last press conference at mong they're actually going through every single application one by one diakal gekadebel tal ada okrok rababil ngel lang every week report and they have to go through it check kung lang niya miscalculation alubong alwith. They unfortunately give them let choose mora give the manual instead of a digital process. Mang sila tamaring ina lang maulong mamakyo din sa kala assure gumit mo o mo ra regional mo mo lagi the regular program mo. Di cocktail program kita prep Minister Udoy agi mo message lagi dal kok ngania sa mamal ura March Mr. Udoy din mo possibly continue magi mo message lagi din ko sa amlo sisibiti ang part of the program. So lang.
Kaskal gire la tel o oceans mang kadakora aware sa oceans sa malikmed locally sen to oceans kada masada traffic ay mang question president tawa say ngari we tanga information na say ngaray gel ko ra commitment so la bela mo expect a bela out of this alo bingigel niya mo so Michael Bolotars ikel ko outcome so the other bela mo mesel girela tel oceans conference sa timer bela ay not yang international conference sa mga regel international pledges and more different aspects of oceans and the kitel as a host and I'm sure one reason that the saw the malati alme akora as mentioned earlier was a so that for highlight the gel blad kat mokrab lor bela that's wonderful. But I'm sure ng ladi kal kuk ngari nga mo mesela say ngarasab elang mabela ringi just the fact la sitya nga merbela ul mga sewa kuk mo ngosuki dra ikel program sir kitel il maral el alta.
So of course there's six thematic areas. So the main climate change is a big one. So that one is ongoing all year round, and we've been on the forefront. So I say we need to get below 1.5. That theme needs to continue. Encourage and push for that. But then also talk about the ocean climate nexus. Say how protecting our oceans can help with that, and encourage other countries to do that. And I think really having it in Palau, showing what Palau has done, encourage it to these are things that we can do. But we also need to recognize, there's some things that we've done, we could do better. Example, PNMS. PNMS, right now there's a discussion or a house, let's get rid of it. That's just highlighting some of the deficiencies in the PNMS plan. Let's look at ways that we can make it and improve it and make it better. Really what we should be targeting, it's 100% managed. So let's make sure that's truly managing your whole EEZ and making sure that what you're doing is sustainably managed. And ultimately, what you want to be able to do, TEL conference is about sustainable blue economy. How do we make sure I get benefits for self-fishing, which we think $20 million are much shabal. Right now, setting nga awan, marad. Kita sa no lo dir bela long sira skogir tiang lolta ringin mara shabal. Mangari auriot provide ringin merablo. Those are the kinds of things that we need to look at. And then let's look at the policies that we made. I say, what's ngaray lungil, ngaray ang sangsel, and how can we make it better? And that's why you have to have reviews, because many times kada diri la toy e ulturi but kada mlabes sa rasa mal mlemok tegarin atogor bela tial daba dom godo sen garger oise tial togora bul atogora management mungira drome ser tial de bede wase tiang admad girel provide el mera kargaringela and how do we do that? And I think we have to start with what is the value of this resource? How are we making sure that we're getting the true value? How do we manage it and make sure it's sustainable? Emerald help para rogul other belo. Say, for example, Delta, one of the reasons they pulled out, tamlo de gatunan ngaraskogin maral. But the reason they lo say, still dosa there was revenue so is the government will help a state will help activities so what's the replacement? One of the things that I had an opportunity to attend the Serakpora UNGA a cell group Enduring Earth. The Enduring Earth a group of NGOs and solid support Tatogora conservation, but how to do it the right way. How to manage and make sure it's sustainable. Paper conservation areas that are not sustainable that end up failing. Say el blue ragiri ba sa dimnon no sem tel Phoenix Island sam rogo torige seni tedal make sense in merkma. Ile the promise ludo da el mo cover endowment el more economic loss tira degal enough mun degal. So worldwide, there's a big discussion on what is the right size, how to use those resources appropriately. And I think that's the opportunity of oceans, is to discuss those things. Use the best practices, share what we've learned, and come up with a better plan. So, Minister Victor, sa mga mo do alisen.
Surangel President siya ko general overview discussion tungkol merigid bela of course climate change mong ngari effort together under our nationally determined contribution was say we're going to reach 40% renewable by 2025. Maybe adults will get there, but ngari effort lagi they'll achieve 20%. But we want to take that further. Can we reach 100% renewable energy by, let's say, 2040? Tangar partners will submit mail ngosugi del morse. Tial 100% effectively manage ocean. How do we do it? We need partners to get us there, both expert toward marine spatial planning, philanthropic donors will submit maski the financing. Of course, government partners will submit invest. So I give a hopefully tell oceans give us that platform to have conversations with partners. I will say we've tried this approach. How do we improve on it? Palau has done a lot over the years on ocean policy, but how do we make these policies durable and effectively financed? Every time a local change a policy change. What's driving those policy change? Al-Bulala Balu. Mdakal swada Balua ang nga resource ringi the lakirap egidong bul. How do we make sure make sure that manage it in a very sustainable way and still generate a revenue support government support other blue below. So say I get the word of message opportunity to be discussion to be had with our partners the Mertial Ocean Conference. So long.
And some of the things that we need to encourage are say, 30% tra whole Micronesia, is it better than 80% tra di Bela? I get the questions, and that's what we need to encourage. They can say the Askara FSM was closer to 80%. That's not acceptable to them. They cannot do that. So how do we get more people on board, share the same vision? And I think one of the successes at TLPNA, we identified, and I remember President Toribio said al President, and they signed it here, a PPR. Yamle concept there's time I say, let's make TL Uktora tuna, look more OPEC, like OPEC, but the control of tuna. And that's why now we get a lot of money from tuna because of PNA. So that's the same concept. So yeah, PNA based on science, it was the limit the number of fishing days to make sure it's sustainable. That's the concept. So we have to think in those terms. So I say, how do we do it better, but at the same time maximize the benefits? Marshall Islands is already started with cell program Walmart. Control ng tuna all the way until it's sold. We get a very small portion of that. We need to control ang galing sa all the way sa labora magitra siya. Moklo alwa the government rebelaw maigel bofi or igel tukod shobal ng rebelaw. That's what we should be focusing on. How do we make sure our benefits ultimately more belaw, and that's really about sustainability and a stronger economy. So hopefully our oceans will give us an opportunity to share that. Emerald, multi-tier donors that will be committed to helping us move to the next level. So
Hindi nga tayo ito PNMS. So nga rin proposed legislation nga rin public hearing rin mayong alman muli ko heated discussion. Sew RTL Ocean Conference tukang nero messing siyang karang mata alwasul kadam na invite tabul other men sa to environment merong maral sew ren olbi ulang sumsa mil comment rin sa kalung comment rin hindi sel wasay tial PNMS kadam na sayang rin sa 2015 al mula hindi full implementation rin amne January 1st 2020 so sel bodo sa assessment rin yang kwadir ka 2 years mang katokara wasay kaluriyo rin nakatokati bro ko mga tiyak temedel meron ko po assessor ng igo ngayon. Kung radir ka masas amat kadam lama assessor ni.
I guess ang kakarusa o singa darato ko. Akong da sa 7 years since 2015, ang mal close time and the assess. And that's why assessment and review is important. We need to know where we were, where we are, and where we need to go. And that should happen frequently. Hindi kaligya del ukti kasi hindi kaligya del murutel, hindi kaligya del omes, hindi kaligya. No, we should always assess. Because that's how we make good decisions. And I think we should be objective in our assessment. Maybe at time that we're fixed on a certain idea, a certain plan, whether ang Pew Milskid or whoever ang Milskid, we're going to stuck ourselves. But we should use science, real data, to make our decisions and base it on that. They get the remote feeling. And I think really what the OEK is doing, it's part of their job. Ask for an assessment so that we can come up with ideas. So say, if how do we fill those deficiencies? So if the OEK says, we've lost the 2 million, so how do we supplement the 2 million Lamodibus? So I think that's the question and Mergidro say, so how do we take care of that? I see? That should be our goal. So finding solutions, coming up with ways we can make sure that what we're doing ultimately a benefit to actually, OEK having this discussion now is exactly in line with our oceans, because that's what it should be about. It should be talking about our people and our prosperity. So, hindi ka makita to discuss niya. I think mungil to ko. Mungira dan mereng asular adro albilo say they see ang sel and they want us to address it. So let's come up with solutions. Let's come up with ideas of how to address ayel luwasel ngal songos. Ila makita lora dal da say ulung makpaingil. Say da kalgirel to ko rabalo. Ngira dan make sure ay galingil ultimately and benefit rara legal resource again. So we have to continue to look at this issue and always look for the best for the people at the end of the day.
Implementation ra alla adim lang alomu ra 2020. A closure of lomu ra 2020. The implementation na ala alomu ra 2015. Mlania winding down days ra PNMS 20% ra 2015, 10% ra 2017, 10% ra 2018. E dire mlegire del develop ra domestic fishing industry ra blue belo. So sel do asya ang dire kakal enough time to assess ra alla kung dasyon dakal sal man accurately. Lamle mo implement ra la 2015. Sera the passer in detail kasi memang the close ra 20% 80% ra 2020. Pero dimle implement ra la memang kasi sell the close ra 80% adyal ra omangit amam kasay. That we knew. Adire kam memang kasi sell bol makasa adyal ra omangit a revenue morio ra tel long line fishing industry ra blue velaw. That we knew. Adire kam memang kasi Abol kaya omnget hindi kam sisi il kumbalir kita ada belal sab elunga tunal mera local market mo kaya that venue. Padmle medel waseng mo kaya sel blesab ela PITL ngulo kordira al sela brul belal mle 65 metric tons annually sera bola sab ela PITL ngara aircel within 20%. Ngariak mo because of COVID at miral direk maybe siya di al timing this other 22 metric tons ra klungen langi gilal lower dir al sela blur vela ul ma ala direk al mal marba. So important was say malo mesa deira and then inform our thinking around the tel issue. Nda sal di olaba feeling gidel waseng teadoru ringil kad mal la tora conservation. Kad murur tel kad assess wasay kada makarasab edel man make sure kasi tel conservation na durable dengan yung will support ra tora revenue support ring dia dito asing adreling meudo Agel udo dul dolgol wase ngara 100 million. Those are in the past. We potentially are going to lose 2 million each year going into the future. 10 years, that's $20 million that we're going to lose minimum. Important el dome seringil ngar segi del wasing. Ngara bagel blodulus. Hablado nga hablado spe. Da sabe del mutu qaseng. Sabe del go gilungi go dengi sel daseng 111 million. Kadabay madel qaseng. We're going to lose at the minimum 2 million each year. Normal melangar tagi del. And is that what we want? $2 million each year. Amor sanganel belal sab el gabar ay gagi del protocol. Do sao del ngal sang sela government traveler belal. Actingul more segi del. We want to provide accurate information. Maradra avlo sab el inform the swil gerela isul gid albang del giling. Dahil sa del qoradi wala ba feeling del gid wasing la giren makara. Let's look at the actual data and then make informed decision. So lang.
Malungila. And so, Minister, it was raised komsa dala se based on data feelings those will make the decisions, which is actually, I mean, that's what it should be done. Question was raised say a public hearing at the proposal reopen allow fishing sila tel PNMS all over again. Dorang sectorial popular session el mesada alolto da data el gire la tel value fish within our easy. I'm not mistaken, it say estimated value tel lebih ngara 19 million. Based on previous data fishing, kadamlo audit terminal saying how much tel udo the actually in rep tel merbela ngara 4 to 5 million, yang ngara 15 million actually realize artificial fishing companies. Again, alak alwide, they were saying it was seral tel tokora PNMS to make up for the loss in the fishing, and they came up with a concept of PPEF, which was supposed to offset that difference. Because of COVID, and that was eliminated to zero. So komsada se kada reassess ringi o mesringi saying where else can we get that 2 million that's no longer there, and ang namotya ka assumption namotya ka PPF income. Mr. President, is the fishing, opening up to fishing again the only option to regain the $2 million? And are there any other options or outside the box propositions that could be done to regain that? And if we do open up the fishing again to within our marine sanctuary, will there be repercussions in terms of perceptions sa legal policies sa environment? This is a landmark legislation. It led other countries to follow us. There are other indirect benefits as well. So a question I say understandable. We're looking for ways to, are there any other options or any other ideas besides just fishing, which is what the kind of the debate is about?
There's two things. One, I guess a question also, sumung ngari aser se kamla dol madallo mari, mla mo mar kamla mo get harvest. A question also kam emong spoil, kam emong tara adama amai, ada kamay gel ukngli ule mara alse. Leng tiang dil mil shares, ngira mo harvesting. To me, that's what we have to look at. Assume they come harvesting, somebody else will harvest it. So most important tokora conservation maru tokora morayo so that make sure sa tia ding aring. So sa uling gida rurtu rasahin sa make sure sa igel policies loru la tia malmol mlangaring. Mang trigger partner sa blakong oda durti. Tirro except maybe one. So the blak ta ding are imo. Tirro ako ngel wase this needs to be reviewed. We need to come up with a better plan. Why sel kul sa adun itigal adra enduring earth. Sera ngarse rather than said enduring earth TNC, CI, Pew, Bezos Foundation, Walmart, all of those people there understand the challenges that we have in large marine protected areas and large land areas that they conserve. How do we do it better? That's the model that hopefully out of our oceans we can come up with a better model that we can show as our success other people can learn from. So I think perception was a gida umqadra sanctuary. No, gida umqadra sanctuary. That was never the intent. The intent was to make it better. And I think sigida perception other house I don't think say intended it. They're saying, let's look at it. How do we make it better? And so the just some of the examples that have happened, and Tiang Arcel reporter Center for Ocean Solutions to get other Stanford. They told us it was a consequence of Tial sanctuary. One consequence. Amla kadamala increase our other momala ngigar almol. Because mla mo kay by catch before ngar belal Maria grade B, ma grade C, mansedra mara beta aral tunara. Okay? So what are we doing? We're taking more from the reef. In fact, elek plangalak ngaramla kumaseng ngariadro tra baraguda pularan $2 a pound. Ayel baraguda just sandek marablu corner mal klebo kol toy sen mol albak klebo mangela igal lolo ma amail memliwak kargaw. Di when we have limited options, what do? We go back to getting it from the reef. So when we look at the whole system, one of the consequences by only having a fishing fleet milk fish farm. Provide a bait fish and that's where they make money. And when they provide the bait fish, and supplement their income, fresh. So what happens? And our local market, what happens? It's easier and cheaper to get. So the developer tell domestic fishery, and that's where, unfortunately, we failed. Let's just be clear. 7 years to do it, it didn't happen. So we need to fix it. I say, and that's I think the directional Ministry of Fiscal say, how do we fix that? We need to develop the domestic fishery. Grade B, grade C, local market. Those are issues that we need to discuss. And I know but we need to be honest, because there's decisions that we've made that are not practical and not working. So review, assessing is a healthy to help us to hopefully come up with better plans that can make a really sustainable fishery that is really benefiting other below. That's, I think, ultimately a goal or a minister other olbin. So other olbin is really simple. Well, maybe there's other ways we can fix it. Maybe that's and so we respect ourselves other question, and let's work with them to come up with a better solution. That's really where I think the minister is coming from. I say, let's not get emotional. Let's not take it personal. Let's look at the facts and make the decision based on facts. Because I think if you look at the facts, it makes it clearer and easier for us to make decisions. ngel ngartelo yatra plan B that way nge promote concept 30% protected because that's what they're trying to get FSM to do and the rest of the region. Leto kasi science says that's the right amount based on their analysis, or maybe not even 30%. But this is what he said. Kasi most importantly, al sumo ko mga omnget belo, make sure other bela benefit ra omnget. So own the tuna, charge more for the tuna. Tial ngak tal belaw, make sure ngel Palau tuna, you own it, you get the most money out of it. In fact, he even expanded and more say, plus tial pristine, tial trangal para tial ngara dro alba bel sales. You should charge more for it. You're not charging enough. Kamda sendi yagrel ula yatra olbil kada tralabal mo table mas yang tamakorok kalmes to berido sila kam charge kamda sadoy. That's a mentality dangari. But we understand to protect our environment, to build a strong economy, to take care of our people, we need funding. But sometimes they take advantage of us. We need to understand the value and make sure that we get our share. And I think that's where sometimes we limit ourselves. And that's really all it's about. So making sure that ultimately other bela benefit. Still ako lagi sa kota other belaw. So how do we make sure ipangila other belaw, madrang kle other belaw amongil. And but at the same time, I can understand. I said, "Tialong mel, tialugi laklang arigid. You cannot destroy it. Tilang gida rowa di mo abulo." So
le presidente, sa kalamutan mo sila Ocean Conference minister. If I understand you correctly, say tiyagi dito PMS or this large ocean conservation, mawan ramen agenda item ra our Ocean Conference.
Alang nga tokor marine protected areas, matokor sustainable fisheries. Igal tablong at makal hindi nga carousel panel. Hindi rin all timing nga conversation happening globally wasya how do we get to effective governance regagi de was large scale marine protected areas. Ling nga divergent views wasing sabel or hindi kal sabel del cover na waklong lagagi del areas and manage them sustainably within a small island. Economy niya mal-dependent rato fisheries. Semul mora FSM, Marshall Islands, rest of the Pacific. MPA fisheries mo dak ang mal mo klon issue tir. Kita sabi edelo dak kadamla malas me mlamo modelo aseng sabi edelo dak. Wangarak lungel seldo the caring mo real tablong. Mong kita buklasan sa bla the super belaw sabi edelo offer mora abibira bulul kasing there's ways in which sabi edelo real achiever say gidel mokte. Adil bela we cannot achieve a mokte reduce by catch impact global fisheries heldra tuna stocks and also belaw we need to work as a region. So ngaray gel by common denominator gid FSM Marshall Island as edel tmaga uror achiever say gid. Maring self krengal wase a reputation gid lamatamal bodolod artiang. Mga mesringil kwa siya, hindi blur adal at sibra way tial doruringi. Kita nga adaptive management. Darulala, implement ringi, masangal sang sel, kwa siya med improve ringil, los pera ngil information. A ministry da kaloldo, kwa siya med ito to the lead open ringil mga 2019. Siya do nilk masing, da kalungil il mergida adre belo. But nga na sel lungil, siya mo subringil kwasing may wing ang anya mixture maklungil a vessel sa bela other bela ngaringi mga niya industrial fleet. The industrial fleet agire the limit diesel mandakal outcome pitra argok magigarel siya ba gid other belaw makara sa gid gora model wasing sa bela governmental enter into public private partnership lo ngela tara ko bali kwasya elagada contractor PITL nga SIP wa tunal mura market mangaringa a profit dollar within a fishery value chain as opposed to what is happening now. Aiga bevir ministry omes ediagal beotel the kwaseng sa the overnight the more say but adomo el ngaria ngil el vision mangil plan was say this is where we're going en ngaria other civil ngosugid el more say gid di do ase mem di el simre en tomagasar adel civil ngosugid len kada madel kwasea private donors are interested til fund ang idil ngarang adi within 3 to 5 years sa tuwok change. Egit tem lamar aswar. Digi ab eslu dodel dase agi gamit tel mena valur belaleng tel closure ul. Mungire del guk adjuste la attractor seguir el guk es el donor base el interested ra igi del guk kora mare tretelela a sustainable development.
Este presidente agora lasted para sulanga Minister Victoria la vaisa tele ma rolela solution el gerela kal divitra si sebelela udo de lo giwa lo ngeda adang de blue tigala do ngeda blue bela presidente de la tema la pandemic togoro ngit mo gele bol civil opina export regal refis el di sail bun bol civil guk si spasi seludo del supporter tir Rawera guk podong simer ngi lagawa da galbusra al sile al taimel el bulam la mergi de gide di dong simer gide lagal sabrin nga ilo tobangi el marak.
So, ela selu tungura tokora conservation and maybe minister sel help ra. Sel banara export rangi el marak ra blur belau is probably ra reef fish ala agot tulungi la ra gar rogun. Le sel do dongal sel sungul masada tokora climate change almol la got toklo contribution ringin mora climate change. وسيل تام قدم دنا سه سيلوك تمورا تقرا tourism متيال المول من دير الغوت تقلا contribution إن ما تقرا tourism so السوم قدم ما البوضة بهاي قال تبلور تقوي يساعدوي I think the one we should be looking at تباي تيالي كرلا أيام باي concentrate راي أيام مكلو تطرل important البالاسيل for example so that get rid of أبانا أمام المقامدوك kita amtanya se aigang amna satamran mabotok and then ingia del mutrom to isre gangar almol legid ospe omes we need to look at the whole picture understand the segid el longi to asem me bod export bol ukla di kita amtanya segid sel buk pod teter dangar export and dega limit tergid gading mol ngo almol lokam din modia agumba so tergel ukru bagal tiamal dir golmu el program kala la kalungin luk podo changing na mal di mare di takan tinu musubri ngari color rifle musuba ay di sela ngi la omes ma sum tam lama ay sa mana to kan galet ebe bodor to ndi nga observation nga ka bay man la mo kasay so I think those are things Albania touristing ngari exporting we're not mangal matamala almal
in addition to that, President, science aquasea reef fish are not meant for commercialization. Length, slow growth, man limited aklungel almol. Science aquasea pelagic species are good for commercialization, length fast growing. Ekloa isedrigid. So some of the science to drive policy aquasea. Kaya el protect reef is the best for us. Le culture gid, klangar gid, migana mirigid are very strongly tied to the health of the reef. Mong aul magdabay kasi al ngarngiya sustainable pelagic fishing. Maybe hindi ako necessary doldurok la arwa mangya, le doldurok ra atuna. Di kita lumu lungarangel expensive tuna ulmung meringi kita aral lodurukli. Abo fira el alwegam lame sel pull and line el dilir sel pel donate ringa siabal. They're in the process of training the crew. Hopefully albora pull and line madunga skipjack tuna. Tilgible affordable el merigid. Lang sabihin mga $2 to $3 a pound as opposed to morangal big ay ma yellow fin el lalo nga si aral mga $9 a pound lebih ko sa
$10.
aralan. Sige ang mo dia necessary kasi bodola ya abritun tundel ngi le durok kal mora kredbela lang kal tuna adi imit mga umesay ko sa gigi dabay guk in the form of policies gigi dabay do mesel wasa science doesn't recommend the wasa the more export reefs recommend the export pelagic species.
Dakal sa milog ra pipilay while we're at it.
Maldilas question namlara actually request namlara balul may minister or whoever's in charge of OOC's facilities tegelo market tersiam na mo kal tanas to wortir while they're preparing al kidela or oceans mataas ko la sente ka ko recommendation ra government ra basyo sa inmo nyo tara makatingin ang mali ta basyo
Alak as ka minister matu lang ga ko mga urtir
Sulale manlungin lagi mlo nyate elam mesra mandin mlo mesra adrogui to goni trige roba kal ngani a home bertirsei trige mlam tigral borngi lo tomora tarabli la partner tir langarap trula am trige el masre ege agi bla modura kor state mong swi tomora long island seldur stay ak mo daw na adrogui misel skumong so min mo siga magit seldur stay komora long island Trigel resta agi mogi kuman modo durtir trige dakal sal kora trige kakaru sal af magi momalas modura kabenor orol direkal either tumura Long Island or agi sigar kora ba shortir eungelatit agi do ongoing with the kabenor orol
Presidente, question el mercado. El toro PPLA. Ese macro discussion nila Facebook o ilang ling el doreng ini mo wala rul to Ngarinya question sel le border issue ay list ra ngabudo la 61 and 63 list. Kasi bay girir gal kariola. O ngayon nga ukmor tirigel adal ngilay list. Magari ka mortrigil adal ngilay list. Lo asay el al terminate list tir. Ngani ako aurerel ma udoswela kabelment lo asay. Ko aureur lo asay. Kahale bodo siklolete abu tirgang ako lari arang rirem na multura ni regal utbe ekdam na terminate because adim nakalungi la role lenda kudengi. Segi de korage.
Sulang Mr. Kasole kita ako trule kita mo understand ra se amne mokte kar kita ra lela aurol mere lang o mesro singara ko trungil girir triga kita adal ospe adal ng okka. Mang kita ang dali selbasyo. Bereka bitara airport. I say, bereka bitara pulara. Actually, hindi ka salungil basyo om kata raul. Rablay. Partringa, kloringa, sel drainage ra airport. Di arado lo spera da okla. Mang a PPLA board toda alice el masteri. Al sel babia lingiro el masteri te dilo tira se como mqador ndi sumo spera da brigel anytime in October. Material 61 al-adam lo apply loan rabang ke modal sin malon erti rabang kalam ko ora bliri. This is what we knew sir the tour office. Mung ndim lemre de madadura minister obiang kado sikra say let's find an alternative lungil om kadara sel mori ara. Modim legot madadura adara irai. Madara adara irai giniera ulda so say Maria utumangarang asang mo igul la asel lo tagay gal blay ngara require gather mula infrastructure mo so already na to David ma infrastructure amrael mo tira kurang sa tulura petition sorry ada sorry rangil basyo ngaway sige da gather mo clearing ilo sa tigalada kada malas mal helper tira bay tira the helper tira Sir Gomez because they're misinformed. Muktek from the beginning was how to help them, give them area labori lang ko para blirir. Tekal sil mo bertir. Leng already in Clara state. Aling anegal to kali sir oral problem. Ida ngarang. Dekal klara state. Ayam na more karedi ma state am lang city. Ayaya adong las muna se boldi se mos in mod oringi el secure el nga alon rabang al gut mo. Material lisis adik katartilom kal or. If you look and ka imol plan mod or ayegi del 61 at least. I think I send moktegra PPLA or missing say in the best interest of the republic. Igida diri al gida ngare gel area the reserve lu kirela lo mesra degal deal an individual but public as a whole. Gira ngare basol gira ngare a post office. Gira ngare basol gira ngare abla police ma fire. Diri al ngare basol sedro say Red Cross. Those are other important that are related and more activities as area more important to help tell arangalel belang. It probably more in line with activities ang arbitara airport then ada lang oklo. Mung akmaday lo sing clock and tuner ada akmaday sa minister am limit tigal lisis why say minister mung gora raro kasi ngam tablo repetition ay ukna mo ngodal to kalobang let tiya mera lang wilal do urni lo sigra wil solution al help pertile se amne muktarit from the beginning. Mugara the help rarab by give them a better option al girela aklo wortir. So of course Maria right raro other complaint so give them namlus repetition or tin mara PPLA but amne muktek from the beginning as how to help them and come up with a better plan. The minister nga sa mo halala da minister of bago misang pen ang newspaper mga
Oise, kambes kita awula a weather service ang ra airport manemo Red Cross sa imoringi ay gagel first responder eungela emergency planner airport o si siul timing aureor rabekil silsa a weather service o matong lingire lauror ngi ma efisel give a weather moras kogi au era land au era take off mang ngaringay gagidel wal operation airport may gel dudul waseng mo o kara maklo disaster ngaral bol yung airport kaya mokte ka sa kada makaray gagidel pero ko yung maklo agency nga support ay gagidel uror airport amorat gibel pasyo mang mo o bakalur te ungila ulor al sugo mang kada mo speri sa tara ulagin na meringel Alabira FAA matamil ko weather service el dinex en morarfa. Anemo may makardira kalno udorin. Tirigela de kambesa kadamaral oy adamaralo spe abasyo maulo kadamaring al adadu. Amira president temneo sa kada. Ida del sige alternate basyo yung basyo el dial fukul sal aroy del ngarger el mohel pertirkal adalo spe adalong okti. Kami o may setera el mo komadangi se del lasra ngari or bebulara sel basyo mangira del tira kala tito kala dorula access road mayel utility infrastructural mooring ay galmlo sabed lo lo bangela ay state ma rubula das padal el girela open up housing program ra tial tugil al mora oigul mga asang aurora infrastructure aral ma amla mula aurel kadam labit autringem na aur drabit mong mo maral aurel ela kada ngalinga group pergid lauro la pengela ay state maigel agency ra governmental bas kada mara address agel pebira ay gagid la infrastructure bolos pe arwa dengi ma aran etrige partera akolupo mo aurora maral ng sortir magdawlingit lo sendi poltelgibel klaro mo de ay galurora oise kada upna mo mereka erura kantara en ngarinya me duba el gire la blur belau mo mga mokringi mong au ulang ngarinya ay gikil language sel ngarai gelis bas como kadmo ko ngerigi mo merula dalang akliu ndi langari ngai ga gidel maklol mok tegal mo bang lel belaul igida del merula engida del kuk mo merera dalang oklam ay gida ora sebe del el chere gida malmal me kambes lol ngasir tirgal adel make sure yung moringa igel pasyon bol at mo club liri
ذيك شير سيم ناري أتلا دل نتال دبر إيربورت ديجم نمرة كسورية فايس بريزيدنت مملة بتوغل نيسول جريلا ريد كروس مقام لورسل وك مو أكسبت أيجال إكويبمنت ترى سولدا لوك لل دونيت يجيبون أيجال فارترا غريدا بار غريك له يقومي على هذا كمدين يجي وانا الفارترا أوبرا $1,000,000 فاليورين يا أمباسادور أمريكا أوغور أولجلو هسه يجي غرام بار غريك لا إلا غران غر ألسلا أبارين غرا فارترا يجي دام ده سيجال فارترا لونغ راسيل سرا all the time and دغلونيل eventually deteriorates el tamlingal claro especially $1,000,000 fire truck Amerika sa ay claro red cross el dirgamle dega so gom ngal seltia that's exactly what we're talking about. We have to solve real problems that we have and address it. A red cross ideally across ranemo, that's the right location the tiga respond and more igal activity. That's why I say we don't need to other blue say adegal appropriate el housing site. The housing site ang ngilangara oigun. Ongero se lo longoni minister ko taklo tutre. Obo hindi ka requirement kasi abolos para government ngiri todo. Mo borabangen se mo alon rula blim. So sel direction na minister ma PPL ang umralo say tagarigi kilometer ngal adan make sure say umrad se mo duru rablin edeka amo mandarin rauriu selba akla. So akmanira se ta se agotar adram regla ongero adar bela I don't know ngaiga amara Facebook undi please me da borak klamral to la kadida ngara trulo idram lidiu sulang
Mr. Presidente, agora lasta kirel tilan.
na
Akiliwi lerera chairman a PPLA, Antonio Wells. El moratar tirgel lesi. Dilu ay setir el terminator selis agreement. E misterira wan wiggle. El moba kloklilo to. Ndim laglaw ay setir at nasa ate eliul morsel lisra. Ang asang maigol langan. Awamulgo ni Mr. Presidente, tirgegi de 61 alat. Tamo mali setir segidel asang maigol. Segidel nasta tawriorni.
kabang minister a meeting oral ulbantri
Ila de El Salvador será do meeting lo bantrere gire la aurora infrastructura ara el maral melmo agar dire gal mo un meeting lo bantrere base tirga gidel adal tiram na mo titu legal liser tiral ngar airport adol ngit mal bol parter trigel adal bot consider tira egal housing adol tira iraima rubugulay gel belul ngar sel working group pa ginera udasmang au kadar murter girelam yang tirgang direkal malgo alwase a national government orang seorang mamraigal infrastructure mera belul girer adra belum agel guk masaba malngoswir a national government ta program ringia ta kaing seuludor ligibel advansa tirgar rubugula hospital ma led authority
Petición del ministerio, te la hablamos también.
Alan mama diagi mo sa tira ka oy alam tira ada di kedolengit mal por telgibel considerate dol mal marawlor
okay dia mada komal msulang etiam namo 2 hours namo teme druk molungol ra press conference rigid ya klugo yang namutan ngari dry runner osi ra 7 o'clock al monana tutau mo kadokora dimo mudul awas rigid mado pamagal kadamdeng ra sing wangara tretail ya di de lutro isa adrablu la sa kapsinge ese atele del momesa el film el following night atele la el pastor Nelson amo interview te gela sa film and go more in depth el tel el do ada mal mga bekla dal may edregal tungate ale yung isil mal di imol ada to kubet sil 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 al sil Oh, mga tamal, congratulate ni happy birthday, Mr. Mark Anthony Beli Nyong Kangara, Ministry ka, Minister Uer Balau, Ministry of Health and Human Services. Congratulations and happy birthday. Otherwise, say kung kada yung press conference sige the more tegi of course albori all udole anytime before now 2 weeks from now sa den mutra da do. Ni koman sulang ra tel ma takalung ilger sulang ra serang me Mr. Salvador al blol loger ang ilger keep the people informed. Akplolo ring sa kara 2000 bakit 2000 man mo to ang information na ngay. Sulang